this is my own soul searching here. I think when I hear you talk about this, and I hear you talk about the anger at people, I check with myself to see whether I'm angry. And then I find something funny that I can't quite figure out. I know it's real, but I don't know what it means. There's some way in which I know myself to be angry at certain people who did not do well by us in the circumstance, but I don't feel the anger. It's like some part of me feels it, and then my conscious mind is shielded from it. And I have a feeling that that's serving a purpose, that there are things you can do if the emotion doesn't penetrate to the part of your mind that decides how to act.
Yeah.
And presumably there's also a huge cost to that. You know, anger didn't evolve for no reason at all. Anger evolved for a very good reason. And so there are places where you want to be able to keep it absolutely in check, so that it cannot drive your behavior. And there are other places where it is important that it be seen. And I think probably for whatever reason I am constructed in the odd way that I'm constructed, I'm paying one cost in order to get to some benefit. And you know, I saw this in one other place that wasn't about anger. There are two places in the Evergreen story where I run into the same observation about myself. One is that initial confrontation outside my class, the one that got captured and the one that put me in the public eye. I remember that interaction. I remember feeling my leg shake as if there was, I don't know, fear or a very strong emotion of some kind. But I remember thinking, that's odd that my leg is shaking because that's not how I feel, right? So I think some part of me felt it and some other part of me didn't. And the part that didn't was the part that was talking to the students, which was very effective. You know, people say to me about that scene, they say, I couldn't have done it, right? And I think the point is, oh, that's because there's some circuitry that blocks some emotion from rising to some level of feeling. And the other place is when I had tried to go to school on my bike and I had run into evidence that I was being ambushed in some sense, that there were students waiting for me in a place where I was known to go, and I deviated and I went to the police station and I talked to Stacy Brown, the police chief, and she said, I don't think you're imagining it. Go home and get off your bike because we can't protect you. You report that when I came through the door that I appeared shaken like you've never seen me shaken. I don't remember being shaken. I remember thinking, I can't believe this is happening to me in 2017 in my own neighborhood in the United States.
You know, this thing, I was going to say that's written in literature, which no, you don't. You know, the way that people describe people who've been really scared or traumatized as having like an ashen face or a gray face.
Yeah.
And whenever I read that description, I think, what? But that's the thing, that's what I saw in you. That like just the color was gone, and it wasn't bloodless. It was just, you looked like you were almost in black and white.
Yeah, it's funny because I think I was having an analytical response, which was, what does it mean to be hunted in your own neighborhood and have the police told they can't intervene? What has to be true in history? Where are you in history when that happens to you, right? And so that was like a huge mental update. And it's one, you know, it's an update. I haven't gone back. I believe that that's where we are in history. But the emotional part of it didn't even get recorded.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think I felt it in some sense, and I don't remember it. But you clearly do. You saw it.
Yeah. I'm not sure that I would remember. I mean, I said it to you, and you've recalled it to me enough times now that I now have a very clear memory of the memory, at least. So yeah. I don't know. I think that I would be remembering it with as much acuteness, because it did feel at the time like it was the most X that I'd ever seen you. But it's always hard to know for sure.
Yeah.
You know, how many layers of memory on memory are you making, and to what degree are you now buying your own story?
Well, I guess
I'm talking about me.
Yeah. No, I got that. I do wonder, you and I have recognized that I have some severe deficits with respect to normal functioning in the modern world, keeping track of stuff, right? Time, for example. And that in emergency circumstances, the opposite seems to be true, right? I wonder if this thing isn't related to that.
I think it is.
Yeah, I think it almost has to be.